Hi everyone, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you can find your personal style, the problem that I had with finding my personal style and how I was able to find it through this technique, and let's get into it. So let me just discuss the problem first. So I had a problem where my entire wardrobe was incoherent. Some items were cute, some were streamlined, some were flowy, rock star, elegant, everything, all of these different types of styles that were just seemingly incoherent and they did not really match each other. So I had a lot of trouble getting dressed, and a lot of it was also it kind of bothered me a little bit. So on one side it didn't really bother me in the sense that I really liked having different sides of myself, and I felt like when I put on different outfits, and maybe you can relate to this, you feel a different way, and that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes it's really fun and really good to live in a different part of yourself. But another thing was that I felt very like, if I'm dressing like this one day and I'm acting this way as a result of dressing this way one day, and then the next day I'm different, it kind of made me feel like, is the style even my own? Or if my style is an expression of who I am, and if you're watching this video, you might think that it's important to you, it's an expression of who you are, and maybe you see it that way, and that's why you want to find your personal style. It made me think, if it's an expression of who I am, then, and I have all these different styles, then like, what's going on, right? So I personally think that at the end of the day, you take all of your clothes off and all you have left is who you are. So, of course, style is not the most important thing in the world, but we're talking about it today, and let's get started. So let's think about what's going on. Are you crazy? Or are you just really indecisive? Are none of these your own style? If you have these opposing styles, let's say a cute style and a minimalist style. So I think that none of those things are true. I think you actually do truly like the cute items, and you truly like the minimalist items. So you have two sides to you, two different sides, two different personalities. And the answer is that your true style lies as an integration of all of your styles. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But first, let's discuss the reason as to why I think this happens in the first place. So I believe that we all have different personalities within us, or, different sides to us. And the thing is that this technique that I'm going to show you is not going to be like, I don't know, like, go to the mall, close your eyes, open your eyes. Like, it's not really like that. You have to really like sit with yourself and figure out what you like and what you don't like, what your own personal integration of the styles would look like. It's going to look different for every person, which is why it's going to be your own unique style. It's not something that when I give an example, it won't be true for you personally. It'll just be an example. So the idea is that behind each of these different styles is also a different personality. So, if you're cute, you might dress cute, you might also act differently. You might want different things even, etc. In the same way, if you dress really professionally, you might actually make different decisions, and I don't know, maybe that was just me, but I would invite you to think about that within your own life, and how what you wear changes how you feel about yourself and about the world. So an example may be that the minimalist is very artistic, or maybe the minimalist is very logical. Again, this is very personal. The apple pie personality might be a perfectionist, and they might wear a lot of pink and things like that. The punk rock one maybe doesn't give a shit what others think, and you're going to maybe act a bit differently if you dress punk rock than if you dress really cute. So let me just give a fair warning. This isn't really a shallow technique, and this technique is actually not used for style. It's used for even sometimes trauma resolution. It's used for serious things, like if one side wants a relationship, the other side of you doesn't, etc. So, but I found that you can totally, I don't want you to be scared off. You can use this technique to the depth that you like. So if you just want to stick to style, that's what this video is about. I'm not going to get into anything deeper than that, about how to resolve like different aspects of yourself or anything like that. This is just going to be about style, and I'll show some examples of two styles and then the combination of those two styles and what that would look like. So, okay. So about the technique, I got it from someone named Teal Swan, and she is a woman who teaches it. She's a spiritual teacher, but she draws her inspiration a lot from reading a lot of psychology text. She's very knowledgeable in psychology, and I don't know if this technique is even her own or not, but I will link her video down below about where I got inspiration for this video. And in my opinion, definitely not in my opinion, but like, you definitely don't have to be spiritual for this technique to work. It's not a spiritual technique. I don't consider it that. And again, if it works, it works. So here is how you do it, right? So the technique in general is like, you pick a part of yourself, let's say the minimalist style, and you sit in a quiet space and you say, I now become the part of me that has a minimalist style. And you might feel this shift within you, like you have now become that part of yourself, right? And then you can take it as deep as you like. So you can ask it questions. How do you feel? What do you need me to understand? You don't have to ask these deeper questions, but this is what the original technique is like. And it's really important, whichever way you do this or however deeply you take this, that you really hold space for that part and accept whatever it says. It might not always be positive, but you don't have to like it. You just have to accept that that is what that part of you likes or dislikes. So here, let's just get into a concrete example as it relates to style. So you pick a part like the minimalist part, and you might have an opposing part, but you don't have to. And the opposing part in this example will be the cute part. So the one with the cute style. And you, as a neutral observer, will mediate a conversation between these two parts. So you become one, and then you become the other. Don't ever assume what they will say, and make sure that you are actually in the role of that part as you're doing this. That will be the most effective. So here's an example. The minimalist might say to the cute part, fine, you can wear something cute, but only if it's one cute thing at a time and not more. The cute one says, okay, but as long as I can wear one cute item every day, not just once in a while. Minimalist says, fine, as long as it has clean lines. Cute one says, okay, that sounds agreeable to me. I don't care if it has clean lines. I just care that it's cute. And continue having this conversation until all of the style issues between the two sides are resolved. So I want to stop wearing frilly things, says the minimalist. The cute one says, how about geometric cute things? They don't have to be frilly, they just have to be cute. They can be a little geometric, like a geometric bow or something. Minimalist says, okay, fine, maybe that wouldn't be so bad. Cute one says, I want waist emphasis. Minimalist says, okay, but I want solid colors. So keep having this conversation until all of these disagreements are resolved between the two sides. So now let's get into sort of the fun part, so the results. So here's an example, and just when you thought that, wow, there's no way that a cute style and a minimalist style could really come together in a way that's very coherent. So you can see here an example. So here is a necklace that you could have bought when you were feeling super cute. Maybe you're walking down the mall and you see one of those little stands, where they sell the adorable things. You buy this necklace. Next thing you know, after work, a couple of days later, you buy this necklace, very minimalist. And the combination of those, remember the conversation that we observed in the past between the two parts, it has to be cute, but it also has to have clean lines. And the necklace at the bottom is a bit more of a minimalist necklace, but it's also quite cute. And in my opinion, I think that necklace is really quite a unique type of necklace to wear. And I think it's actually more unique than those two separately. And I just really like that about this technique. And you never know what you will find. That's sort of the fun of it too, is that you have to observe these parts of yourself and genuinely understand each style and understand what they want. You can't sort of assume what they want, and what you find will be really surprising and it could be really interesting. So here's another example, these two skirts, and here is an example of how these two skirts look like when they're combined, right? So remember, the cute side said we're okay with clean lines and geometric cute things, and the minimalist side said solid colors, and these skirts both match both requirements. So the same for shoes. You have a cute shoe that won't match with your minimalist shirt or your minimalist accessories, and then you have your minimalist shoes that won't match with your cute shoes, but now you have something in the middle that is a combination of the two. This is my favorite example, the example of the watches. Now, I don't wear watches, okay, but I really like this example. So a really cute watch and a really minimalist watch. Now, these are totally two different style watches. Like, they don't match, and you're gonna have a lot of trouble and you're gonna have a lot of clothes if you have a lot of these different sides to you. And that's what I found with myself. So now these two watches combined make the third watch, and I really love that third watch. I think it's really a good expression of the two. It's an intermediate between the two. But remember, this has to come out holistically. You have to have the conversation with the two sides of you, and you have to sit there and say, do you guys both like this watch? You know, do both of my sides like this watch? And actually ask them, just quickly ask, do you like this watch? So it has to come out holistically. It can't just be an assumption that you make. So now we have the example of this is the entire style of the cute style, and here is the entire style of the minimalist style, and here's what the example of their combination looks like. And I think that this combination style is something that you would be willing to reach for a lot more. The items all match each other as well. In terms of style, you don't have to worry about, having disparate items in your wardrobe. So this is just one example of a dichotomy. So you could do any other, you don't have to have a dichotomy, but you could. So you could do any other aspect of your style and try to integrate it. So if you do this for all of your different aspects, you will have a style that is actually a combination of them all. And it'll be very original and very unique to you because, again, it's how you see it. So somebody's minimalist style might actually have different preferences or a different opposing side than yours. And a combination of someone's two sides might, even though they might be similar sides, might look completely different than how you've combined them. So I really hope that this technique was helpful. And I also want to address some concerns that you might have. So you're not going to lose your different sides. You're just going to find an integration of them all, but you will still also have access to either the cute side alone or the minimalist side alone. But I personally, when I did this, I found it much more satisfying to wear the style that was a combination of them because it makes them both happy. So you can be you can feel like both at the same time and in a really positive way. Another thing you might be thinking is, this is kind of weird, right? You might be sitting on this idea that, wow, so these different styles of me have different personalities associated with them, and what does that actually mean? And I will invite you to think, what does that mean about your life, right? So maybe the side of you that's cute doesn't, wants to work in makeup or something like that, and the side of you that's minimalist wants to be an artist, and the side of you that is businesslike wants to be a super successful businesswoman. So you and maybe one of them wants to have kids and get married and one of them doesn't. So I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm just saying that it could be that, and I'm inviting you to think about that and what does that mean for you. And do you maybe want to look into integrating further and integrating deeper? That's definitely a possibility. That's not what this channel is about, but it's just an interesting topic for me to think about personally, and think about if I was having trouble deciding between the clothes that expressed me, maybe I'm having trouble deciding between the types of life paths that express me. Anyway, that's how, you can leave it at the style, definitely, and this will be extremely effective for the style, but this technique is also extremely effective for deeper things as well. I guess that's my point. So there you go. I hope this helped you. So, you do this integration for all the different dichotomies, all the different styles. You don't have to have an opposing style. You could do it for two opposing styles, or you could just talk to one style directly. And I hope this helped you out. I hope that this video was really interesting for you guys. I think this technique is really interesting. The concept is really interesting. And again, I found so much success with it, and I feel so much more confident about my style, and I know what I like now. All of my clothes are more likely to match. Whenever I buy new clothes, they all match each other, and it's really awesome. It's really amazing. It also, you can also do it for makeup. You could do it for perfumes and things like that. But I will note though that if you use this technique deeply, the result will be the same. So if you choose to use the technique very deeply and integrate those parts deeply about the desires that they want, etc., then naturally the style will also be an integration, and you don't have to do the style step by step, or you could do the style step by step if you don't feel like doing a deep integration. So either way, it's a very useful technique, and I think very fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm really curious to know if I'm the only one like this. I know that I'm not the only one, but maybe I'm the only one who had like so many different dichotomies and so many different styles. What are your dichotomies? Do you have 2 or 3 different styles? Do you have 5? Do you have 7? Let me know, and let me know what you thought of this video. If you want to see more things like this, definitely let me know. If you have any questions, I can definitely answer them. And definitely, if you're interested in stuff like this, like psychological sort of stuff, of course I've linked Teal Swan's video below, and you can take a look at it and see what you think. So let me know, and I hope you enjoyed this.